So I had a dream, and I don't know if I talked about it on the channel, but recently I read Carl Jung's book, The Man and His Symbols. I don't know how to say in English, but I hope you understand. And I started to think about my dreams and the things that I dream, and I started to interpret them. And usually I go over and over about the meanings and how I relate to that and what my unconscious really wants. And it's been helping me a lot because it changes my perspective on things and how I make a few decisions. But I also sometimes, that's the second time actually, ask help for ChatGPT when the dream is very much dense, like it has a high density, or I don't know what it means and I cannot understand it, so I ask for ChatGPT help. But as I said, I usually try to think myself what it means, or I bring it to my psychologist, my therapist. But I really want to talk about it today because it's crazy. Let me tell you my dream. Oh gosh, I erased. Wait a second. Okay, let me tell you the dream first. In the dream, I had a friend that was killed while we were at a trip in a place I cannot recall well. I think it was between Africa or Asia or the Middle East. Her parents came to my house desperate, blaming me for the situation. But I kept steady and saying that I had no fault, that it wasn't me. But I hid the truth that I was the one that killed her. I did not dream about the moment I killed her, but every single time I lied about the truth. I had flashbacks of the moment. It had something to do with the rock, maybe her head hitting a rock hitting by her head, and an elephant. I don't know, I just had flashbacks of an elephant. And I remember being really mad at her. Maybe pushing her into a rock, I don't know. In the dream, I know clearly, but after I wake up, I kind of forgot. I dream also that I left the electric shower turned on, and that could somehow incriminate me as the killer. I felt relatively ashamed and blamed, even though I did not want it to be discovered. I remember that during the trip before her death, I was able to see a Formula 1 driver, Oscar Piastri, and his girlfriend Lily in some kind of dark place near a stage, maybe in a show. They had credentials and everything in Abu Dhabi. I think the place that we went was Abu Dhabi, but I'm not sure. I asked for photos and I asked for someone else to take photos of me with them. I posted on Instagram, and a friend of this friend that I killed answered my story saying if I was going to post photos, they needed to be good photos, and not shaking one. She was saying that the photos were bad and they were not good. And okay, I do not remember what I answered. I think it was something like oh, you should take care of your life and stop talking about my photos or something like that. I just remember that she apologized after and said she was badly interpreted. A very important context is that I do not talk with the friend that I killed anymore. I talked about her in the channel. And I ended my relationship with her for something that she made and the way she treated me. Her friend that answered my story also is a friend that I do not like and that I found super problematic, that she was not a very good person. So that's what I sent ChatGPT. And here is what ChatGPT answered. Okay, this dream, I ask it specifically to interpret it according to Young. Okay. So in the dream, my friend, let's call her Shayla. Shayla is not just Shayla. Shayla is a version of myself that I that accepted to be treated the way Shayla was by my friend in real life. Shayla is some kind of dynamic of submission, blame, and under valorization. I don't know. When you broke something in real life, you also needed to kill this image to survive. Survive is a deep word, but I hope you guys get it. I am the killer. This is the honest part of the dream. You actually needed to break this relationship and kill the person you were that accepted to be mistreated by the friend in real life. It needed emotional investment. While the ego says that you were not the one responsible for this, the self says, I was, and I needed to do that. And that's the tension. Because her parents accused me of killing, which is my super ego saying, you are a good girl, you are a good person, you are very responsible, you're Pacific, you don't do this stuff, you don't kill people. Her parents are saying that, are blaming me for that and say you shouldn't do that. But so it's up a moral part of me saying that I shouldn't end my relationship with her like that. But this is a conflict, And there is the rock, her hand hitting it, and the elephant. The rock as it says, the rock represents something steady and negotiable, a final thing, a final limit. And the elephant represents memory and emotional weight. So it's not something easy to do. I killed something important that had an emotional weight in me, my friendship with her. But also it was a final point. It was the limit. And the rock represented the cut of it. The electric shower, which for me was crazy because it was one of the parts that I couldn't understand why it was important to me in the dream. But ChatGPT says that the water is emotional, electricity is conscious, and the shower turned on is emotion exposed to the risk. So I was kind of afraid of not talking too much because I would maybe be seen and founded as the villain. So my consciousness was saying you shouldn't let the shower turn on because maybe they would just go over you. So I was afraid of being exposed and as actually the villain. And that says a lot also about Oscar Piastri on the stage, because Oscar Piastri, the stage in Abu Dhabi and blah blah, represents public figures and a stage being exposed and also being worried about image. And that brings the problematic friend who also criticizes the way I expose myself, the way I post. So I was also worried that even though I was sure that she made something wrong, I was also worried about the way that people would see me. If they would. She even talked with a friend about the situation, and later that friend came to me to I wanted to hear your sides, to listen to your side and to listen to your perspective. So that aligns a lot with my dream. The problematic friend is also interesting because she kind of criticizes my image, then later say she was misinterpreted and say sorry, which is a lot of what this Shayla friend would do. So the central message is that I did something difficult that is a weight on my conscience, and in the case that it was difficult, but it was something needed. And that's really interesting because I don't know, it's crazy. How can your conscience and talk with you like that? But yeah,